I can actually win this thing?
Off of turn 4 when I saw the checker flag, and yeah, it's crazy. I wanted to give myself 2 or 3 car length buffer because I could see Kyle, he was not going to back down for the win, and I knew Sheldon was in a must-win scenario. So I figured they were going to both get into each other. They almost got into each other off of 2. I think a lap or 2 prior. So I gave myself about 2 or 3 car lengths in case they got into the wall and slowed down just so I could not run into the back of them. I saw that with I think Ross Chastain and someone else 2 years ago or last year in 3 and 4. So I wanted to give myself enough of a buffer to be able to turn down the racetrack if something did happen. And then they killed their momentum off of turn 2, and I made it 3 wide on the bottom down the back straightaway, and I was committed to doing a slide job on the 2 and parking it right in front of them. And then I looked at my mirror and I saw a shower of sparks, and then the next thing you know, he's zipping right by me on my right side through 3 and 4, and I'm like, holy shit, how'd he get, how is he must be holding it wide open on the fence now. That's kind of what went through my brain. And then so I'm like, I'm throttling it up then. So I throttle it up, I bounce off the wall and come back down. Well, he had wall glue, he was stuck on the wall, and we turned down and was able to have the momentum off the corner. But that was wild. It ended up working out for us. We led a lot of laps, and we were a really good car the first half of the race. Just kind of lost track position and lost a handle on the race car after the rain. But that's why you never quit right there, because anything can happen.
What, was your spotter yelling at you that last lap, do this, do that, or was it pretty much you?
Nah, it was super quiet for me. I'm sure he was yelling, but I was so focused on the win. I wish I could, if it was recorded or something, go listen to it, because I bet it was pretty crazy. But yeah, I think I recall him saying, get your momentum off of 2, get your momentum off of 2. And then from there, I kind of like shut down, and I'm like, I'm winning this race somehow or another. So I'm going to drive this thing as far as I can off into turn 3. And then yeah, it just kind of worked out after that. And then he said checker flag, and we won. I'm sure he said a lot more, but
no, Don Hopkins at funstretch.com. It looked like Larson just kind of like going in turn 1 in that last lap, he kind of just not dive bombed it, but just kind of went in a little bit too hard and just got loose and hit the wall. And then of course Creed, like you just said, went full wide open in the corner. Can you see yourself making those kinds of, can you see yourself making those kinds of aggressive moves and then just getting out of the car afterwards and then shaking each other's hands?
Yeah, but I'd probably wreck. I don't know if I'd be able to limp it back. It's a tricky corner. Dale, he did a ride-around car here in 2019, and we stood up on the track. The sun was going down, and we stood. It was a day or 2 before he ran that blue number 8 car, and he was talking about how his dad always he never liked to go below the apron and drag the left front tire. And every time I go through turn 1, that crosses my mind, and I go below the apron, unfortunately, and drag that left front tire. But I feel like that gives me a little security, you know, putting wedge into the car, crossing that transition, and tightens me up a little bit, where if I enter above that line on the racetrack, I'm a little looser. I can't charge it as hard. So it's always a really slick corner, and I think a corner that everyone fights. And you know, I don't know what I would do if I was in that position. I would hope I'd be able to do it how those guys did it. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them, but they made it one hell of a race, and they made it back to the line. So you got to give your hats off to them, and it was spectacular there at the end.
And then they got out of their cars afterwards and they shook each other's hands. They were actually laughing and smiling at each other. Could you see yourself like just kind of negating the frustration, just being happy that you just had a really fun race?
Yeah, I mean, when you, circumstances aside, I mean, when you battle it out, I mean, that's the best rental go-kart, GoPro Metroplex race you'll ever see right there. Like, that's what every one of those rental go-kart races looks like, is that. And we're doing it in the Xfinity Series. I mean, that was cool nonetheless. So yeah, I think I could if I was in that position.
Jared Haas with frontstretch.com. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, check one of those 2 videos out that we have right beside you. Visit frontstretch.com for more great content.